This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, a daredevil takes to the skies over the Taieri, impressing members of the local aero club in the process. City teenagers learn some hard lessons firsthand as they brush up on their global leadership skills. And sportswear takes over the emerging designer catwalk, but it was the designs of an Australian that wowed the judges. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A world leader in the aviation field is visiting Dunedin before taking centre stage in the Southern Hemisphere's largest warbird air show. The daredevil gave residents a glimpse into his world as he trained above the Taieri today, and his presence has members of one club buzzing.
Flying in a field of his own, Lithuanian aerobatic pilot Jurgis Kairis has been tumbling through the sky above the Taieri in his purpose-built plane. He's in Dunedin practicing for Warbirds over Wanaka, in which he's one of the star attractions.
I need to, prepare my body for G, for tumbles, for you will see so many rotations. Head must be ready for that too, And but step by step I know all these limits.
The 63-year-old's been flying for about 40 years, recruited early on by the elite Soviet national team. He's pioneered the sport of aerobatic flying and is regarded as the best in the world, having won countless championships.
Well, it's a bit of a coup for us because he's had his aircraft shipped into Taieri, which it normally goes to Wanaka, so for us it's just a fantastic opportunity. And he's putting his aircraft together here, test flying it.
A few dozen locals gathered at the Taieri Aero Club around midday to watch Kairis create a public spectacle. He does things no one else in the world has been able to replicate and has no plans of slowing down soon.
All this time, I fly aerobatics, and then I think it's not possible to know everything about, what is aerobatics.
For the Taieri Aero Club, his visit is a once-in-a-lifetime privilege to be part of.
To have a world-class aerobatics pilot be at Taieri, let alone perform here, is just incredible. So there's the public, there's a lot of people here.
Kairis designed and built his 400 horsepower plane, which he'll fly to central Otago in coming days. There he'll be performing for thousands of breathless spectators over Easter before seeking the next thrill. Rosie Mannins, 39 Dunedin News.
Several old commercial buildings in North Dunedin are being demolished to make way for a private car park. About 2/3 of the buildings on the former Wycliffe Press site will be levelled by the University of Otago. In their place will be a street-level car park with about 150 spaces for students and staff. The university is planning to complete the $2.7 million project by September. It bought the 1.5 hectare site for close to $7 million in 1998. Staff say the extra parking spaces are needed as others around campus are being lost through different developments. A local seminar has empowered the community's future leaders with key skills about thinking globally. The World Vision Youth Conference gave high school students lessons on leadership in a worldly context, and participants were in for a surprise.
Tackling global issues locally. The secondary school pupils have been learning leadership skills at World Vision's Youth Conference in Dunedin. It was aimed at gearing teenagers up for what they're likely to face later in life.
They come in, they learn about some hard truths about the world. They hear from some amazing people who are doing a difference, and then they're given some tools to make a difference themselves.
140 students from 26 schools around Otago and Southland took part in the conference. They were assigned countries to represent with the task of thriving on each nation's resources, but the exercise soon turned into a power struggle.
They end up creating a world quite often that resembles the world that we live in today, that's quite unequal. And then we debrief the game afterwards, and they realise that the world they've created isn't actually the world that they want to live in.
World Vision holds these conferences throughout New Zealand each year. Hamilton says the skills learnt within are vital for students to carry through to their communities when it comes time for them to take charge.
These guys are the next leaders of, Dunedin, of New Zealand, of potentially, of wider the international community, and we believe, it's absolutely imperative to teach them leadership and for them to be empowered to, make their mark on the world.
The day-long conference included interactive workshops and keynote speakers, as well as a global education seminar. All those involved appear to enjoy the time spent learning outside the classroom. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Repairs on State Highway 88 between the city and Port Chalmers are taking longer than expected. The New Zealand Transport Agency is extending the project by several days and may need more time if it rains next week. Work was supposed to be finishing today. Different parts of the route are being maintained, with some chip sealing taking place during daytime hours. The rest of the repairs are being done at night to minimise disruption. Contractors have been using temporary traffic signals and manning stop-go signs when necessary. They started the project last weekend. Sportswear reigned supreme on the catwalk at last night's ID International Emerging Designer Awards. 38 budding fashion designers from around the world put their collections on the line as they vied for the coveted top prize. And the bright designs of one Australian entrant wowed judges.
Savouring the spotlight. In front of a crowd of almost 1,500 people, Queensland-based fashion designer Jordan Anderson took out the top prize in this year's ID International Emerging Designer Awards. His winning sportswear-based collection was inspired by his experiences travelling the world.
The title of the collection, Global Citizen, it's a feeling that I felt after my 13-month exchange program where I visited 14 countries in that time, but it's also up for interpretation, that title. And then also referencing like the movie Cool Runnings and the Olympic themes, and but there's definitely that sportswear in there as well.
With a win under his belt, Anderson's now working towards an internship at Adidas in Germany, bolstered by the validation and support his collection has received. 6 judges were tasked with deciding the award winners, a challenge that the head judge says is near impossible.
It never gets easier because fashion is always evolving and changing. Every year it's a different dynamic. And so this year there was a lot of personal stories that people wanted to convey to us. So it's a lot about listening, understanding what it is that they're trying to tell their story.
While the stage was dominated by budding Australian designers, one local entrant didn't go away empty-handed. Sophie Ball's mythical creature-inspired collection took home the night's most commercial prize, an honour she's overwhelmed by.
That was, if I was to win a prize, that was the one I really wanted to win. I think if I really want to be a commercial designer, and I think that a lot of people would like my stuff, and I love that they love it enough to award me with this, so I'm really, I feel good.
Ball takes away a $1,000 cash prize for her win, while Anderson is now $6,000 richer for his win. It's the kickstart these guys need to continue their careers in what can often be a cutthroat world of fashion. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, where you find out what's on the cards for a 60th anniversary celebration, and a retail store in Concord is again targeted by burglars.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodwear and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Are you looking to add a new dimension to your home? A Christie's glasshouse and shed will add value to your property and increase your gardening pleasure, and can be easily ventilated during the day. A Christie's garden shed is a brilliant addition to your backyard, adding to your storage capacity.
The great Kiwi glasshouse and shed come in all shapes and sizes, are manufactured in Dunedin and come in a range of nature-inspired colour steel colours or metallic zinc aluminum finish.
Choose the Kiwi shed that has stood the test of time. Choose Christie.
Pallet fires are growing in popularity in Otago, with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pallet fires, so easy, so efficient.
Mosgiel Mowers Plus can help you with products to make your garden maintenance jobs easier. Lawn mowers, ride-ons, chainsaws, line trimmers. Sales and service are our specialty. Mosgiel Mowers Plus. Phone 489 3572 22B Gordon Road, Mosgiel.
The team at Caltex North care more about you than just putting fuel in your tank. They care about you and your family. At the Caltex Valley Workshop, the skilled service team care about your safety, extending the life of your car and helping you live more economically. There's a range of modern equipment to give comprehensive warrant of fitness checks and servicing to your vehicle. Come visit your only local in North East Valley and receive 10% off when you book your warrant and service together. That's your friendly Caltex Valley Workshop, 134 North Road, or book online at caltexvalley.co.nz.
Aerobatic Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit aerobatic.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times, the Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
Welcome back. Consumer confidence is slipping slightly, shown in the latest National Business Index. A drop of 1.7 points this month has meant confidence remains near the historic average. Future expectations are also down, but commentators say there's no cause for alarm. The economy is maintaining a solid performance over the longer term, which is believed to be sustainable. International oil and dairy prices are influencing consumer expectations for the year ahead, which have decreased by 5 percentage points. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 50 points. It's now at 6,624. And the Dow Jones is up 156 points. To the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is down against the Australian and the yen. We're up against the other currencies we follow. New Zealand's longest-running opera company is about to celebrate its 60th anniversary. The Dunedin Opera Company, also known as Opera Otago, is staging a weekend extravaganza, and executive member Judy Bellingham joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Hello.
How is the company's 60th being celebrated?
Well, first of all, when I leave here, I'm off to the Savoy to a wonderful dinner with some entertainment by the great nephews of one of the founding members, the Madden Boys. Then we have 2 concerts on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon at the Mayfair Theatre. So that's this weekend, and then of course there are other events planned for the year.
Oh, wonderful. Now, you've got 2 names, or you've got a previously known as by name. What prompted the name change?
I'm a bit new to Dunedin. I've only been living here for 23 years. But I think it was probably that opera was servicing the whole of Otago, and that the name Dunedin Opera Company was a little localised. So that's been the result of the change.
What's unique about Opera Otago?
The fact we are a boutique opera company. We're small. We are privileged to perform in a theatre that is owned by the charitable trust. We try and use local singers, local directors, and so we try to promote everything that's wonderfully Otago.
How many performances will be staged this year?
There are the 2 performances this weekend. Then we're introducing a new concept at Ulverston, which is called House Opera, which is tremendously popular in England at the moment, and there'll be some performances there. And then we're going to do a full staged opera at the end of the year, and then also there'll be some concerts given by local singers during the year as well.
What do you attribute to the company's success?
I think the fact that everybody is so passionate about it and that we support the locals. And I think the fact that we've got Emma Fraser coming back to sing with us this weekend. She's singing with Opera Australia, and she's coming back to have the lead role for Opera New Zealand. And she's so thrilled to come back.
Is it difficult to keep modern audiences engaged?
Yes. Yes, it is, and so lots of operas are done in English, and that's why we've chosen the great Dickens story, A Christmas Carol, for the end of the year, because it's in English, it's got a large cast, it's got a children's chorus, and the audience has to sing.
What do you think are the company's biggest achievements to date?
I think doing 114 productions over 60 years is something that Dunedin, Otago, Southland should be extraordinarily proud of. That hasn't happened with any other company in New Zealand.
That's almost
Most
2 a year.
of the professional companies do only 2 a year, and you know, for 114 over 60 years for a semi-professional company, it's pretty damned good.
Plans for future development?
We have a strategic plan, and also Opera Otago has such a passion for presenting New Zealand works, new works, so we're going to try and present a New Zealand work and then a community well-known opera, alternating with other smaller events.
What sort of interest have you had in the success celebrations so far?
A lot. People have come from afar. We've had messages from afar from people who used to sing in the past. There are a few tickets left for Saturday and Sunday's performance, which people can snap up at the door, but no, there's been a lot of interest.
How many people are you expecting at the extravaganza?
Tonight we've got over 40 people coming for the dinner, and we would hope for a couple of full houses on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, good luck with your celebrations. Congratulations, Judy Bellingham from Opera Otago. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, book lovers line up to cash in on a public library clean-out, and we'll take a look at the results of this week's online poll.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Aerobatic Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit aerobatic.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
Granddad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Granddad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
The team at Caltex North care more about you than just putting fuel in your tank. They care about you and your family. At the Caltex Valley Workshop, the skilled service team care about your safety, extending the life of your car and helping you live more economically. There's a range of modern equipment to give comprehensive warrant of fitness checks and servicing to your vehicle. Come visit your only local in North East Valley and receive 10% off when you book your warrant and service together. That's your friendly Caltex Valley Workshop, 134 North Road, or book online at caltexvalley.co.nz.
For professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality, contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online. New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. A closed section of Highcliffe Road on the Otago Peninsula is being reopened following an investigation and safety review. Part of the route has been closed since last June when heavy rainfall caused a major landslip. Now that's being opened to a single lane while the authorities continue to monitor groundwater levels. Access may be re-evaluated if conditions change. The Dunedin City Council is expecting detailed designs for a permanent fix by the end of next week and will be tendering the work in April. In the meantime, traffic lights will be operating for the single lane section. A liquor store in Concord has again been the target of a smash and grab burglary. The Thirsty Liquor store in Main South Road was broken into late Wednesday night. A window was smashed in 2 places and several bottles of spirits were stolen from inside. The bottles, including Karuba and Jägermeister, were worth about $40 each. Police say staff set an alarm in the shop before the burglary, but it failed to go off. It's not the first time the store's been targeted by thieves, with an attempted ram raid on the premises late last year. Hundreds of books are being culled from the Dunedin Public Library's collection, with many titles surplus to requirements. Staff are organising several public sales throughout the year instead of having one main clear-out. But the increased frequency is doing little to stop bargain hunters getting in early.
Hunting for some winter reads. Dozens of avid readers are perusing a large selection of books on sale at the Dunedin Public Library. Book sales at the Central City Library are consistently popular, with plenty of regulars making sure they're first in.
It was particularly funny this morning because there's always a rush at the door and they ran in and some of them hurtled over the barriers there, which we enjoyed.
In the past, the library's focused on running one annual sale in its basement car park. But there's increasing demand from resident book lovers to run the event seasonally and in a more accessible location.
Well, it is a smaller area, but, well, it's easier to set up because it's quite a lot of the staff involved with it are getting older, as including myself, so it's just easier to set up that way. But also, people discover it. We advertise quite a lot, but you always get people saying, I didn't know it was on. But this way, if they're coming to the library, they just come upon it, and that's a real bonus.
The increasingly frequent sales are necessary for 2 reasons. They generate revenue for the Dunedin City Council, and for staff, they're a great way to free up space for new purchases.
It's ongoing all the time. As we're purchasing new books, we're also looking at books to deselect. So we just keep them in the shelves in the lower basement, our upper basement, and they're just stockpiled there until we're ready to have a sale. When we get to a certain point we've got enough, then we have the sale.
This sale's running all weekend during normal library opening hours. That gives book lovers plenty of time to fossick through what's on offer and head home with a sizable stack. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
The second national flag referendum is underway, with voters asked to choose between the current design and an alternative. Voting closes on the 24th of March, after which the winning option will be announced. This week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked you which flag you prefer, and it seems the majority of you prefer the existing flag. Britain is introducing a sugar levy on soft drinks in 2 years' time to tackle the growing obesity crisis. That's something local health campaigners and researchers are pushing for in New Zealand. Next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks if you think the government should introduce a sugar tax. You can vote at our website, dunedintv.co.nz. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. A world-leading aerobatic pilot is training on the Taieri ahead of Warbirds over Wanaka, in which he's a star attraction. More than 100 local teenagers have been learning leadership skills and global power struggles at a World Vision Conference. And Australia's top emerging fashion designers have wowed ID judges with their creations, but one Otago graduate scooped a major prize. It's time now to take a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. And Barry Stewart's with us. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. Freedom camping issues and concerns in the Gibbston Valley. We have a look at that story tomorrow. We also talk to a ID fashion model who will be on the catwalk tonight. Now, this guy who's a Otago Polytechnic student has more Twitter followers than Dan Carter. Incredibly popular in the Philippines. So, interesting story behind that. Our Insight report this week is on the looks at the rapid rise of the Give a Little crowdfunding site.
New words for you,
crowdfunding site. Yeah, that's an interesting background read on that. So have a look at that one. Funding cuts for the Waitaki Health Board. They're turning around and looking at Canterbury again. So more troubles there, and of course. We have the rugby tonight, Highlanders versus the Waratahs. It was a toss-up whether to go to the fashion show or stay at home and watch the rugby. So that's on tonight, and we'll have full coverage of that, and plus heaps of other sports action, and of course the weekend mix, which has got a phenomenal amount of reading in it.
And perhaps the Waitaki Health Board needs to start a Give a Little page.
They
Do
could,
a bit of crowdfunding.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Barry. That's tomorrow's ODT. Time now for local weather.
This weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Here is today's City View. It's taken of houses in Concord. It's been a lovely day. Around the city at around 3 o'clock, 18 degrees in the central city, 19 for the Gardens, 20 for the Tyree. Well, to the situation, and a humid northerly flow is increasing over the country. It will remain through the weekend and into next week. The forecast for some of the main towns in the lower South Island tomorrow: strong nor'westers for Invercargill, Gore, Tianau and Alexandra. Just a bit of clouds and or rain coming your way. Highs are between 15 and 19 degrees. And strong nor'westers with high cloud for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel, 19 or 20 degrees. And Dunedin tonight remaining fine with nor'westers and an overnight low of 15. Tomorrow, winds becoming strong and gusty once again with thick high clouds, and scattered rain is possible later in the day. We're expecting 20. And on Sunday, mostly fine with fresh westerlies and a high of 20. And finally, to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. Low tide tomorrow morning is at 25 past 8, and high tide on Sunday afternoon is at 10 to 3. And fishing conditions look good for the weekend, particularly around 10:30 tomorrow morning and 10 past 11 on Sunday morning. And Barry, have you got a pick for washing day? You haven't been here for ages.
I know, I wasn't even thinking, and I was in a wee daydream there. So,
so
but I saw
you weren't listening.
I saw a little bright sun sitting there over Sunday. So
yeah,
I think Sunday without a doubt.
Yeah, because there's absolutely no rain in Sunday's forecast as at this point in time.
Well, there you go.
You know how fast things can change on the coast.
Let's do it Sunday.
Let's do it Sunday. It's agreed. It's
Done.
Sunday. Well, thanks, Barry. That's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We are taking a little break on Monday for Anniversary Day, so we'll leave you now some shots of the week that was, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.